Hey, it's Mr. Swartell. We're going to talk today about how to change improper fractions to mixed numbers, and then we are also going to talk about how to change mixed numbers to improper fractions. So let's start with improper fractions. An improper fraction is any number, or any fraction, I'm sorry, that has a numerator that is larger than the denominator. So, for example, 29 fourths would be an improper fraction, or a fraction greater than 1. The numerator here, 29, is obviously larger than the denominator. So what we're going to do to change this to a mixed number is we are going to divide our numerator by our denominator. So we're going to put 29 in the big 7. We should be familiar with this from the beginning of the year. And we're going to divide it by 4, which is our denominator, right? So 4 times 7 is obviously going to get us 28. We're going to be left with a remainder of 1. So here's where we need to kind of like put the pieces together and put the parts where they need to go. So a mixed number is comprised or made up of two things, a whole number and a fraction, right? So our quotient here, 7, is going to go to our whole number. Okay, so 7 becomes our whole number here. 1, which is our remainder, is going to be our numerator. And then a really nice thing is that our denominator, which is 4, always is going to stay the same. So if we look at 29 fourths and we change that to a mixed number, we put it in the big 7 and we use our whole number, our quotient as our whole number, remainder as our numerator, and then our denominator always stays the same. So it'll be 7 and 1/4. So let's try another one very quickly. Let's take, 18 fifths. So we're going to do the exact same thing. We are going to divide our numerator, which is 18, by our denominator, which is 5. 5 times 3 is going to get us 15. We're going to subtract that, and we've got our remainder there. So if we think about it again, we know we're going to have a whole number, and we know we're going to have a fraction in our mixed number, right? So we want to take our quotient, right, which is 3. That's going to go down here into our whole number. Our remainder is actually 3 as well, right? So our remainder is going to become our numerator. And just like in the other problem, our denominator, which was 5 in our improper fraction, or fraction greater than 1, is going to stay our denominator here. So 18 fifths as an improper fraction would turn into 3 and 3/5 as a mixed number. So now we're going to talk about going the other way. So we'll just use, let's say, 4 and 1/5, right? So when we do this, which is changing a mixed number into an improper fraction, we want to multiply our whole number times our denominator. Okay, so we're going to take that over here. We're going to multiply 4 times 5, our whole number here, times our denominator, and that's going to equal 20. And then all we need to do is we need to simply add that product, which is 20, to our numerator over here, which is 1. So 20 plus 1 obviously is 21. Now, just as in the other one, our denominator is always going to stay the same. Oops, I'm sorry about that. It's always going to stay the same. Write a different one. No, it's always going to stay the same. So if we were to turn 4 and 1/5 into an improper fraction, it would be 21 fifths. Okay, so let's try one more, and then I think we'll be all set. So if we have 7 and 2/4, we take our whole number and we multiply it by our denominator. 7 times 4 equals 28. We are going to then add our numerator here That's going to be 30. And then just as in the other problem, our denominator is going to stay the same. So 7 2/4 will turn into 30/4 as a improper fraction. So that was changing improper fractions to mixed numbers and mixed numbers to improper fractions. I hope it was helpful.